So I hope you've all had a fantastic time over the last couple of days, whether you just joined us for the conference part or as well as like the hackathon. Looking back a little bit on this, I think it's just really great to see so many people here for the training. As I say, we're really looking to expand that as well, and it's been like a great success to include this training. There's a comment before about having people who are joining the hackathon in terms of having experiences before. I think this is a great way to get started, and we're going to continue to expand that. Just I've heard some comments around like the training material itself, and reminded that that's all open source. You can take that material, you're free to do with it what you wish. There's also this ability as well to contribute to that, and we are going to be creating this train the trainer material, so if you've got any kind of suggestions on that, please reach out to the community team, and they'll help you there. Also to all the amazing projects as part of the hackathon. As I said, the value here is not just the output of the work, but I think it's to be able to dedicate time from your schedules, block out your calendars, and really be able to sit down together and build. And just so much can get done working in this way as well. And finally, all the amazing talks that we've seen. Like every year, the bar continues to get raised, and I keep saying it every time, but it's really a credit to all of you for that. It's not just the talks, though. There's so much work, and I know particularly personally, there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes to make these talks happen, and obviously also the software which gets developed as part of this. And it's just a real kind of pleasure to be able to see all this be brought together so well here. And of course, it wouldn't be a summit without a harsh little selfie. So this is phenomenal in this way. You're really getting to spend the time together. I know personally I developed many lifelong friendships from the community, and maybe we only get to see each other once a year in real life. But it's something that I value so much. So thank you so much for all of the people taking the time to join here as well. Touch on quickly onto our incredible sponsors. So they really make this event possible. So just a shout out to all of them. So we've got AWS, we've got ZS, Oxford Nanopore, PixelGen, Artigen, Element, NVIDIA, and Quilt. I hope you all had the chance to speak to some of the folks here. There's brilliant humans behind each one of these logos who are really part of the community, really part of the ecosystem, and make this event what it is as well. And also I'd like to thank to the Core Summit team. They continue really to raise the expectations and really exceed the expectations for the summit every year. Because of the way the timing worked out, and we have the Boston Summit as well as the Barcelona Summit, this ended up being our 4th summit in 13 months, and it's a huge amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. So really, thanks to everyone there. Everyone really comes together to put on a world-class event. And finally, thank you to all of you. On Wednesday, I encouraged you to open up, to really kind of make those connections. And as I said, it looks like a technology event on the surface, but it is really a community event, and you all make that possible as well. So thanks for choosing to spend your time here. I know that many of you make sacrifices, whether this is from family commitments and work commitments to be here. So it's a really, it's a very valuable thing to be able to spend the time together and really make this event what it is. This is like getting towards the end of the year, but we still have a few more things that are coming up, and particularly online as well. So in a couple of weeks, we've got a Nextflow training event which you can join online. So if you want to invite your colleagues, the first time that you've been to a summit, and you want to bring people into the ecosystem, you can get them on the bandwagon there. On November 20th, we're doing a webinar. You can dive into many of the updates that you've seen here over the last couple of days, really bringing a lot of the ecosystem improvements that you've seen and kind of putting that all into a nice 50-minute webinar, which you can sign up for online as well. We'll also, on December 20th, if you want to see more about Nextflow and some of the VS Code work, we're going to have a webinar there with Paolo and Ben, and they can also walk you through many of the things that you've seen there. And finish off, if you are going to be in Boston, we are the Nextflow Summit 2025 in Boston is going to be from May 12th to May 16th. So clear your calendars for that. And otherwise, we will see you in Barcelona in autumn of next year. Okay. There's one more thing. So I'm going to invite onto the stage Paolo and Phil and Alex. I think we can stand here. Group hug. So over the years, like all of us have, in many ways, kind of collaborated across different organizations, and really to fund many of the things that you see. I think in Phil's talk, you talk a lot about like all of the stuff that happens behind the scenes that you don't really see. And there is a lot of work, whether it's just stupid stuff like who's going to like make sure that the domains get renewed, pay for the servers, make a lot of the projects kind of like happen in that way. So we've been thinking in many ways about how we can ensure that a lot of that sort of ecosystem and kind of the work, how can we ensure that the future of those resources are kind of built in a sustainable way? And today I'm very proud to announce that we are launching the Open Science Software Foundation. So this is a foundation which is a public good, whose mission it is to empower scientists through open source. I'm going to hand it over to Phil, who's going to give us a little bit of a view on it.
This is something I'm really excited to talk about today. It's just a couple of slides. This is a long project. It's been on the back burner, well, been in progress for years now. Since the very start of NF Core, many of us, Alex, myself, and all of the core team have had a strong focus on making our community stable and sustainable, making sure that we're here for the long run, and that all the work that all of you put into this open source software is around for the long run. And today, I think, really marks a major step in that path for us. So the OSSF, which is a bit easier to say, is being set up as a non-profit foundation based in Spain. And the mission of this new body is to support open source science and open source tooling, and in order to kind of continue to promote these tools and make them available to the world. The focus of the OSSF as we're setting it up is to support open science projects which are around today. So existing projects such as NF Core, for example, being the obvious one, but also to potentially incubate new open science projects. Primarily, the aim is to function as a public, non-profit, fiscal and legal entity which can help and support and back open science projects. What does that mean in practice? It means working with funding and funders to support open science projects, supporting the open science projects that we're all familiar with, such as NF Core, and any new ones which may come around the corner. And we're already doing this. Right? We've got many support projects already in the works through Seqera, and we want to sort of take these projects which may have already started or planned or in progress at the moment, and we want to sort of transition these to the totally independent foundation. The initial funding for the foundation is coming entirely from Seqera, but in the long run we want to extend it beyond that. We want to be able to have the foundation apply for grant money directly. Also kind of potentially work with other funders and funding bodies to, again, try and kind of build this foundation of stability and sustainability. Any foundation needs a board of trustees, and so we're starting the OSSF with basically pretty much the set of the NF Core steering committee. So the people who have already been writing grants for NF Core and who have already been thinking about all the same problems which the foundation will be dealing with. You can read all of this and some more with some frequently asked questions on a brand new website which we pushed out live this morning, openscience.software. We also bought opensoftware.science because I kept mixing them up. And there's a new Twitter account and a LinkedIn page which you can follow as well for updates.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Phil. Appreciate it. So I said before, if you've got any questions on this, feel free to reach out to any of us. I think it's a really exciting initiative, and it just really is going to be able to make sure that many of these resources that we're all building together sort of remain as a public good and are really able to grow as the community grows as well. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for your time. Really appreciate it. Come talk as well if you want to chat. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.